Getting everything set up. The pre-show. Man, I ain't had sleep in. I think I only had like 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, 3 hours of sleep. I'm watching the 100, like binge watching the 100 and everything. Yeah, I studied a little bit, but then I just binge watch everything. Usually I studied around like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but the day, man, like I stayed up. I didn't go to sleep until probably like 10 this morning. I stayed up all day yesterday and did not go to sleep until 10 this morning. So, but yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy what coronavirus can do to you, bro. Even when you don't have it, shit, just sitting in here and shit. But the show must go on. Some new buds. Swear these buds, man. Matter of fact, I don't even need this one. I just need one. Alright. Let's get this shit started for the second time I said this. Give me 1 minute. What's good, everybody? It's Dominic Mack, and this is the Tatted IT, where information is the culture. In today's episode, I want to discuss the lack of representation of minorities, especially of African American descent, in the world of information technology. Always kind of it fascinates me when you go into a field or something that you love and everything, and you just see a majority of just a certain ethnicity in that specialty. If you understand what I'm saying. It's just the fact that it's not enough. Okay. For example, I came from a rural area, right? My high school was a 2A school. Bro, we only had like, I don't even know. I know, but we had probably I'd say around maybe 600 to 800 students. I think I said this before. I could be off. I could be dead on, spot on, whatever. But nah, man, just with all those people in our school, like it was very small, but it was a majority, black high school, handful of Caucasians and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is that nobody that I knew, probably myself, and I know like probably a few others that I found out recently that are in the IT field, were interested in programming or anything in technology. Well, I admit I was one of those people because I didn't know nothing about computer science. I knew nothing about programming and nothing like that. So it really, first of all, I had this thought, especially my first time having this thought was back in college when I first started. Not when I was a education major. It started, well, of course it started when I was in computer science major. But it really, I started to think about it when I started going into the classes and seeing, just me and my cousin at the time. We were the only black students in the classroom learning computer science. Then at other times it may be like 1 or 2 other people. But other than that, it was really, the percentage was low of minorities in those classes. And when I transferred from USC Beaufort to USC in Columbia, the main campus, even though it's a bigger demographic and everything, a larger college, more students and everything, it still was the same thing based on even though it was a larger size, a larger population in the computer science community, it was still the same thing. To a point to where we had black engineers club. I was a part of that for some time. And it was basically it was a handful of us African Americans who were interested in computer science and technology and everything. So we had our own club and everything. And it was just, to be honest with you, and especially when I got into the Navy, thinking the Navy would be more diverse, it is really kind of sad, because I really didn't see as much of ITs, black ITs, because me and a coworker of mine, a good friend of mine, Williams, me and him, I was the only black person in my class, my training group, and everything at the time. And I think Williams probably was the only black person in his training group. I think he was the night shift. He was doing night classes, but it was still like just going into the Navy, and it was like, wow, dude, like the population is so small within African Americans and minorities. It was a small minority group as well, because even with Hispanics, it was not even that much. It was maybe a handful of Hispanics that I knew that was in my class. Everybody was Caucasian, And I have nothing against that. I have nothing against, like, I'm not making this video to be like, oh, I'm going on a rant. No, it's not that. It's the fact that how can we make this better? How can we pave the way forward for minorities, to strive and to look towards going into information technology, or looking into being a computer scientist, data science, data analysis, software development, just networking, cybersecurity, stuff like that. Like, how can we get more minorities in these fields and everything? And I think that's one thing I really want to talk about, because I feel like that really hits home to me and everything. And it's just, like I said, it's pretty, like, it's sad at a way. I mean, not too sad, but I first of all, I'm grateful that my little brother, he's following my footsteps into being a computer scientist. Right now he's going to a technical school. I think I said this before. He did the smart route. He actually listened to me. Because my brother's smart, man. My little brother's smart as hell, dude. Like, everything I did, everything stupid I did, he don't do it. So when he took my advice on going to Trident Tech and just starting there, he really, really, God, bro, my brother, bro. If you meet, I'm gonna get my brother on my podcast, and you'll see how smart he is, dude. Like, the man is, I love him to death. We 9 years apart, but bro, when I say we talk on the same plane, like our minds are on the same plane, the same level, like it's ridiculous. It surprised the hell out of me, when I was young and I was, going through my dark times at the time, and I was able to confide in him, and not confide. Okay, don't take that the wrong way. All right, just talk to him and everything like that. Listen, I'm in the Navy, so a lot of the jokes and everything, whatever. Anyway, like I said, talking to him and just having a second opinion, he really helped me think. But more on that later on. But yeah, he took my advice, went to a technical school, and now he's like, he knows networks. He's just finished a Python course, which I was ecstatic that he went over, because I found out some information. This is off a tangent. Tidbit. I'm gonna say tidbit. So a tidbit from me that I gave to my brother, and I'm giving it to you now. I found out that the Python Institute, if you look it up or just Google search Python certification, I found out that you can get certified in Python programming. So that's one interesting thing. You start off as the PCEP, that is PCEP. That's at the entry level, and you can go all the way entry, associate, and all the way to professional and everything. And it's really interesting. He's going to try it out. It's cheap too. I think it's around $59 to take the cert. So that's something that if you're interested in Python programming, you should look into and everything. Like I said, man, certs they're a lot, but compared to like 100,000 plus in student loan debt for a piece of paper saying that you graduated this college, I'm not knocking it, because I want to finish my degree, because I need to finish it. I think I'm gonna start back over though, but I have nothing against the degree, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like if you're a doctor, or if you're doing something in a field that is actually beneficial, like You know what? I'm not gonna get into that because there's a lot of opinions about that. I just feel like it's a lot of money that should not be wasted on. I feel like college should be cheap and affordable for everybody. But that's another topic I have. But back to the topic at hand. Like I said, today's I ran it. Dang, I was talking for 8 minutes. Did I even tell what I was talking about? I think so. But anyway, I'm gonna say it again. Right now, the topic for today is increasing the tech culture in the black and other black communities, especially in other minority groups, and other minority communities as well. Just want to help my people and those of other colors or different colors. Please, like I said, I just don't want nobody to be offended by this podcast because like I said, there's a lot of misrepresentation of minorities in this field, and I feel like we can do some. It's a lot. It could be a lot of success in this field, And I don't want to be stereotypical when I say this, but it's more to life than dribbling a basketball, playing, games and everything. I love basketball. Right now I don't even follow basketball like I used to, like especially March Madness and everything. Well, I mean, March Madness is over, but for the past 2 years I have not followed 2-3 years I have not followed March Madness, and I'm kind of ashamed of myself because I love March Madness. But yeah, I just been focusing on doing IT and just trying to find a different way, a different path. And I mean, I found my path. I found what I love and everything, and being IT and everything. So I would like the percentage of minorities, blacks nationally and regionally, man, is crazy from what I found out and everything. Just looking at information on the internet, just looking, just reading, and I found from Brookings.edu. There they have a report. The report is the Black and Hispanic underrepresentation in tech. It's time to change the equation. And when I was reading through this blog, this report and everything, it astonished me of how many people are in certain computer and mathematic occupations we're gonna take these dates are between 2002 and 2016, so they're a little bit recent. I mean, granted, it's 4 years ago, probably changed or increased by then. I hope so by the time, but from what I've been reading and everything, what I got from this and everything is right now, for example, the occupation of computer programmers, right? The employment is so they broke it down into different columns and everything. So like they have a digital score. Digital score of 2016 was 94. The employment in 2016 was 466. The average wage as a computer programmer is $85,180, right? So for blacks in 2002, it went from 7%, basically 7.1%, and increased by 0.5%. So from 7.1 to 7.6, right? For blacks and Hispanics, from 2002 it went up fairly a whole percent. Still kind of low in my opinion, but it went from 2002 from 5% all the way up to damn near 7%. We'll make it 2. We're around here. It's 6.7, but around to 7. And it's just like another one is information security analysis. That's something I'm interested in. And they had digital score 91, employment was 89. The annual rate in 2016, or the annual average wage, is 96,000. But in 2002, there was nobody. I have no record. Both in 2002 for blacks and Hispanics, nobody was in that field. And by 2016, they went up to 9%. So from 0 to 9% for blacks, and from 0 to 8%, or we'll say 9 for Hispanics. And it's crazy. I put a link out and everything. Like I said, I put on my videos. I also record my podcast. I put that in the video as well to show y'all. But yeah, if y'all listen to this podcast, go to the website Brookings. As BROOKINGS.edu and search Black and Hispanic underrepresentation in tech. It's time to change the equation. And that's where I got my information from, with just it's crazy, dude. Like, for example, I'm going to read out a passage out of this. So, black representation in computer and mathematics occupations is moving in the wrong direction, slipping from 8.1% of the field in 2002 to 7.9% in 2016. Only 4.4% and 2.9% of database administrators were black and Hispanic, respectively, in 2016. But even those small shares reflect declines since 2002. While tech companies across the nation have over and over said they must do better, blacks and Hispanics still remain underrepresented in tech jobs by nearly 50%, dude. That is crazy. And then they also broke it down nationally. So, for example, they show right here another table they have, and like I said, I put it up in my video. They said the top 10 metros or cities by black workers representation in computer and mathematics. So this black workers, and I think they have one for Hispanic workers. So I'm gonna go for the black workers first. So ranked number one is Daytona Beach, Armand Beach, Florida. Share workforce is 10.5%. Share of computer and mathematics occupations is 19.7%. Over or underrepresentation is 9.2%. Wow. And in Vallejo, Fairfield, California, 12% of the workforce. Share occupation is 16.2, and the overall underrepresentation is 4.2. Listen now, from the first spot, from rank number one, it went from the overall underrepresentation went from 9.2 down from number 2 spot to 4.2, and then it just decreases by percent as I go down. The lowest I've seen is, so we were all the way down. I think it start going to 0% when it gets to number 6, Providence, Warwick, I think Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Share workforce is 5.1. Excuse me. Share of computer and mathematics occupations, let's see, it says 5.7%, and then the over or underrepresentation is down to 0.7%. That's crazy. And that's only number 6. After that, it just goes to 0 and then to negatives to number 10. And then for Hispanics, it goes Corpus Christi, Texas. Share workforce is 58. The share of computer mathematics occupation is 64.3, and the over underrepresentation is 5.5%. But the thing about it, then after that, at number 2 spot is St. Louis, Missouri. And this is crazy. 2.7 share workforce, 3% share of computer and mathematics occupations, and then a 0.7% of over or under representation. That's at number 2. That jump went from 5% in Corpus Christi, Texas, to 0.7% in St. Louis, Missouri. That's some crazy. That's crazy, bro. This right here says, in short, while blacks and Hispanics inclusion in text is unacceptably low almost everywhere, a few increments of progress are being made in a variety of cities, most often markets characterized by long-standing black or Hispanic presence. Community and company actions can help combat inclusion in tech. So they found a way, said increasing opportunities for people of color in one of the fastest growing and highest paying sectors of the economy is going to require more insistent efforts to bring about real change. So they basically, in this article as well, as I was reading more about it, they are starting to actually incorporate it more into schools, like the IT education and everything. So like, at the high-end industry, the education and training ecosystem communities need to bear down much more in special models and outreach design to engage underrepresented populations, incumbent worker upskilling, work-based training, accelerated learning solutions, strong IT career on ramps, and inclusive IT computer science education from K through 12 to university. And the models they have that they develop is the Year Up, ethnically oriented boot camps, coding programs like Reactors, Telegraph, Track, Black Girls Code, and the hashtag Yes We Code, as well as Code.org, state-by-state campaign to draw more students and teachers of color into its efforts to expand CS in schools. See, I wish we had this junk back when I was in high school, man, because I'm telling you, dude, like, there was nothing like this when I went to high school. Nothing at all. I mean, I didn't know, like I said, only thing my first computer was in my grandmother's house. It was a compact. It was a compact desktop computer. I remember it. I don't remember the exact model of it, but I just remember the color of it. I even remember the desk. The desk was a dark, like a dark brown desk. I don't even think it was mahogany. I don't think if it was real wood. I think it was just pressed wood with a layer of like the design of wood, like how wood is cut from a tree. It was like a layered design of that over there, and it was in the corner of a small room, like basically almost the room that you see behind me, probably like, or the room behind me if you don't see it, but the room behind me, or those who've seen it in my video, if you see the room behind me, it's probably half the size of this, man. And it was just wrap around desk, and then on the corner was a compact desktop computer, just CPU, the tower and the monitor on top, and blue screen. The only thing it had was a recycling bin, and that was it. The recycling bin to start. I didn't know how to put the internet on it. I didn't know if internet existed at that time. Only thing I knew, the two things I discovered was Space Invaders, best pinball game ever. If you ever listen, people that's born in 2000, y'all will never know how Space Invaders impacted my life, man, when it came to games, dude. Like, I'm not a big gamer now because I grew out of it somehow. Like, I even had I had two systems and I just got rid of them because I don't play them no more. But during that time oh my Lord, I'm telling you, bro, that probably got me to start playing games more and more. But y'all would never know the sound of it, and like just how it will piss you the hell off when every time I was trying to figure out the keys for the fan, the handles and shit, and I would mess up every time, and I'd get so angry. I remember at one point I almost like punched the computer at one point. But if I did that, my grandma would have whipped my ass. But y'all would never understand that. I just feel like those that were born, if you was not born in the 90s, you did not know, or if you're born in the 90s, you did not know about Space Invaders, what the fuck? And then those that were born in 2000, like my brother, they would never understand. And I wish y'all did. But anyway, that was the first thing. The second thing was the command line prompt. And that jump, at first I kind of figured out how to do it based on computer courses I took back in middle school. But only thing we did was stuff that was on floppy disk and stuff. And me being like interested in what computers were, I was always the one that I would do my work, but when I do my work fast, I would go and do other things. So I would be like either on the internet, or I was trying to figure out the command line. And at one point I would figure it out. Like I would go home to my grandma's house and I would just go and play with it and everything. Then at one point I just kind of faded away. Like I said, the games kind of took over, and I was a nerd, but I didn't want to be a nerd. I didn't want to face the fact and come to terms that I was a nerd and all this other stuff. So I didn't do my nerd things with computers and stuff. I mean, I played games, but then I came back to computers, and it's like, yeah, I like computers. I always played with computers when I was small. I took apart my Sega Genesis to figure out how it works. Granted, I never put it back together, and it was hard as shit. But it was interesting just to see the insides of it. And then when I found I could take apart a computer and look at the insides, and oh my God. And, learning about how to code it, how to actually make programs, it was just awesome. So, I mean, that was my experience, but I'm glad my brother got that exposure to it earlier than I did. He got exposure to it when he was like starting into high school. Like he had an internship with one of the teachers at his high school to actually do IT work, understand IT work and everything. So I'm glad he went through that and everything. I'm really glad, and I'm really glad that everybody that I've been like following, like I said, I know I talk about Network Chuck a lot, but Network Chuck is the man when it comes to IT. And Professor Messer, he saved my life when it came to Network Plus. Look him up. CPT Nuggets. I tried them for a week and I loved it. At the same time, I just couldn't afford it at the time. I'm gonna go back to it though. I'm gonna try to afford it. I took I had Code Academy, but I stopped using Code Academy because I don't know. It's really good to start off as a coder. At the same time, if you already know how to code, which I do already know, I already know the basics of how making classes, the functions and all that, the variables and stuff. It gets kind of boring, so that's why I'm more into the book aspect of it, like getting the books and just getting down into the books and reading it. Well, probably because that's the way I was taught, in college. So when I first got into programming, they give you this Java book, which I got over here. They gave me this thick ass Java book and said read, and then I started having ebooks of. I have an ebook still of C++. That I don't know how. I think that shit was back in 2013. I still got that book. That shit probably old. It's probably so many updates in Java and C++ right now. Haven't been coded in that in a good while. But like I said, if you put me into it, I know how to. Since I'm familiar with it, and those codes are the codes I started coding in. I did Greenfoot. I made a remake of Super Mario. One day I'm gonna find out my GitHub and I'll show y'all how I made it and everything. If I can find it. Hold me to that if you can. Yeah, comment down below and just hold me to it. Like, just pester me about it. Like, yo, you supposed to show us this GitHub, how do you do Super Mario shit? Like, so when you gonna do that? Or you just running your mouth? Which probably I'm running my mouth right now. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, man, just the representation of minorities is crazy, man. It really blows my mind of how many people, how many minorities are not into that field, and it's a growing field. And I've seen fellow colleagues that of other just like African, just not even African American, actual Africans, that come from different countries. They learn IT and Hispanics and just anybody, any and everybody of a minority. I meet them and they are so knowledgeable when it comes to being IT. My cousin, he, I think last time I talked to him, he's working for a bank as an IT, one of the head ITs at a bank in Sumter, South Carolina. And, he's very knowledgeable. He went through college and he got a degree as IT and everything. Granted, he probably found out that you have to get the certifications. I wish we both know that shit. If we did, we would have just said, get the certification and, we would have got a job way earlier while being in college. But anyway, he's very successful in what he did. I think he was in last time I talked to him, he was in a magazine, or I think it was an online magazine saying he's one of the youngest, I forgot what he called it. I have to look it up. I might ask him to send him that link again. But yeah, he is. I know another fellow colleague of mine. He's a good friend of mine down in Florida. He got into the IT field, but then he got out. He said it wasn't for him, but he was very, very successful. He worked for Fidelity Investments for a good while. He even had an internship with them and everything. So he was very successful. I think he got his own construction company now. I'm very proud of him, man. Like he's cool people. I think I'm gonna get him on here one day as well and see if he want to do an interview with me and everything. It's probably gonna be on FaceTime because he's like all the way in Florida. I'm stuck here in Virginia unless I take some time off and go and see him. But yeah, man, we need you know what? We need more people. We need more we need more black people. We need more Hispanics. We need more minorities in this field. We need them. Like, it makes no sense to not have them. It makes no sense for not to have them in this fast growing like culture. Like, it's crazy, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to say get this money. Let's get this money, but no, it's like we can do it. You know what I'm saying? There's other ways, and technology is the way to technology is advancing so fast at a rate that's just crazy. There's no reason why we can't. I'm just really kind of maybe I'm an advocate towards this, just getting more of more minorities into this, and just, expanding our minds. We have to know this technology one way or another, dude. It runs our lives. You can sit there and say it doesn't. You can sit there and say, oh, no, I don't care if it's a radio, dude. That's technology and it still runs, and we still have to know how it works. We have the phone. Let the phone, you use the phone. Don't let the phone use you. Don't sit there and just like, oh man, I have this new phone and everything, but you don't know how to operate it. I'm literally recording my videos off my cell phone right now because I know how to do all that. I know how to work with my computer to a point where I can work with the computer and the applications I put on my computer. We have to know. You know what I'm saying? We have to know this knowledge. This is knowledge that we cannot sit there and say, no, man, I don't know how to use a computer, man. No, just one day, just sit on your computer and just play with it. You know what I'm saying? Just play with it. That's all you have to do. So, like I said, I'm gonna end this video because I'm coming up on 29 minutes. That's a long episode. Wow, I talk a lot. But yeah, like I said, we need more exposure. We need more teachings. Especially in our rural areas, the areas that I grew up in. We need more representation. We need to cut out this underrepresentation of minorities in the information technology field. Come on. We got to do something, If you have any ideas, put in the comments below. Like I said, tell me, put it on Twitter out. Like I said, my Twitter again, the Tatted, that's THETATTED _ capital I capital T. That's my Twitter handle. Hit me up on LinkedIn at Dominic. That's DOMONICK. Mac, MACK. That's my LinkedIn. Look me up. Just follow me on Twitter. Follow me on LinkedIn. Look me up on my YouTube channel, which is the Tatted IT. Look me up on that and everything. What else you can look me up on? I have a Snapchat, but that's not official yet. I haven't been on Snapchat in a long time. You can hit me up on Facebook. Like I said, look up my name, Dominic Mack, DOMONICK, MACK. Look me up on Facebook and tell me how you feel about this. Tell me how you feel about the misrepresentation of minorities in the IT field. Do you have any ideas? What do you wish to be done about this? Programs, any ideas of programs? Do you know any programs that are out there that we can put more people in, more Black people in, more Hispanics in, to be exposed to this field of opportunity? Just let me know and everything. Share comments, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, smash that like button. Give me some likes. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. I don't care. I'm gonna still be here. I'm gonna still run my mouth. Now I'm still talking about IT and what I feel. I'm gonna talk about what I love, regardless. So, tell me how you feel about it. Respond. Put in the comments in my YouTube. Hit me up on all my platforms that I just mentioned and everything. And yeah, tell me what you think. What's on your mind. So there you go. Another episode of Tatted IT. Peace. And IT is the culture.